Hey, this is Steven from LegitTechTutorials, and welcome back to Beginning HTML5. This is the third part of form controls. So we're going to finish it off here, and then we're going to do a practice, and then move on from forms. So our last form controls are a lot of new HTML5 cool stuff that wasn't in the previous versions of HTML, like XHTML and HTML4. So what we're going to do is we're going to first learn about labels, and we use labels to push to make it easier for people that have visual disabilities, that cannot see visually and are using a screen reader that will read the information off of the website to them from the source code from the HTML5. We are going to set this up to better help them as well as people that are using it standardly without a screen reader, as we're going to, this expands the place that you could click to activate a checkbox, form button, whatever. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a radio button. We're going to create a radio control, form control. So this is going to be called, we're just going to call it program. So this is going to be your programming language, and it's going to be a type of radio. But I screwed up again. So this is JavaScript. So we're going to say Java script. So this is the ID. And then it's going to be a type equals radio. Name. Let's just abbreviate this JS, is because the user will not be able to see this. So let's just say JS. And the name is going to be the type of form control. Is going to be the name of the form control, and this is going to be sitting inside the programming language form control and this value is going to be equal, what it's going to send to the server is JS, is the value you're going to send, and we're going to close that. Now we're going to start the label. So the label is basically what the user is going to see. So we're going to say that this label is for JS, and it's going to say JavaScript. And you notice that that's in black. And we're going to close that label. Then we're going to give you space visually so you could tell that we're going into the next portion. And then we're just going to say HTML5 or we'll say C or something, C++, and or CPP. Let's just abbreviate CPP. All right, and then it's going to be a type of radio. Type radio, and the name is in programming language. Same exact thing as up here. Same exact thing. And the value is going to be equal to, I'm going to say C++. Yeah, CPP. Okay, and then we're going to close that. And then we're going to open up a label. And then this is going to be for CPP, CPP, because it's capitalized there. And this is going to say C++, and we're going to go ahead and close that label. And now when we look over here, it's not doing it inside this particular piece here, but it should, to where you click on the JavaScript here and it should trigger. Oh, that's because I don't have it in live. There we go. So now if you didn't do the label, for example, and you just did, you had and you just did JavaScript here, it don't work. So now if you click here, it automatically activates it. Same thing here. Very cool. So you don't have to technically hit right on the button. You could hit on the actual wording, and you could see that it is pretty accurate. Yeah. So that's the big use of the label, and it'll also inform the user that you're going into, if they're using a screen reader, that they're going into a radio button and what the two labels are. Okay, next one is a big one called field sets. Now, basically, field sets are what you see when you go onto a website and it has a block of form controls that are similar to something like logging in or contact details, contact this company, blah, blah, blah. So let's go ahead and jump into that. So field set, you start off at a block similar to unordered list, tables, exactly. And then you have the legend, and the legend is what it says at the tippy top of the field set. And then we're just going to say contact company or whatever. Contact company. And then we're going to start putting in labels, and you see that it's automatically indenting our stuff for us. So first off, we're going to keep using the labels, and we're going to say we want you to put your name. I didn't close that correctly. So first we're going to want you to put your name, and then we're going to do a break so that the box is underneath. And I could indent that out, but it's probably better to see it like that. So then we have the input, and then we're going to do a type, and it's going to be a text area to where you can put stuff in. The name's equal to name. And then we're going to close that. And then we're going to close the label that we had up there, and we're going to do another break so that we could work on the next form control. I mean the next form. And then go on and on and on. So we're going to say email. And it's going to be break, space, line bar thing, break, and the input, the type, is going to be another text entry, and the name is going to be your email. And we're going to go ahead and close that form control. And we're going to close that label. And we're going to do a break. And then we're going to have a final label. And we're just going to say information. Or message. We're going to put message. And then we're going to do the colon again. And we're going to do break. And then we're going to continue on. Oopsies. And then we're going to do the input is a type of text. And then the name is going to be message. And then we're going to go ahead and close that. And then we're going to go ahead and close the label. And then we're going to go ahead and jump down here and close the field set. Now when we take a look at that, there you see the field set. So that's the standard. It depends. I don't know if you're going to see over here on the right. I might cut that out so you guys could see everything a lot cleaner. But basically by default, most browsers are just going to put a line box around it. Of course, you could do CSS and change how it looks. But you see here, it's very nice, and it's got our legend up here at the top, which you see highlighted there. Then when you see the name, and then it's got a break. So we're here, now we're in, so here's the name, and then the break is the very next thing after that. So you see that we're breaking each thing to the next line, which would probably look exactly good if we have a kind of similar setup as that. And we have everything in here, and of course you can do text field with this instead. Type text field. Text field goes over here though. Yeah, so you could have text field instead, but yeah, we're just going to have it as text right now. Okay, so that is a form grouping of form elements. So that's a group or a field set. Now we're going to go over some form validation. Now that's similar to when you're entering something in and you enter in your email incorrectly and you don't have the @Gmail or @Yahoo or at your website. When you don't have the @ sign and the .com or any of the DNS locations or whatever, it will give you an error. So that's similar to what we're going to go right now. It's new to HTML5 as the previous HTML versions had to use CSS. So now they have this inside the browser. so that it's doing all this on the user side, not the server side. So just like we always do, if we're sending information, we're going to do the action where it's sending it to, and if it's posting or pulling, or it's get or post. So we're going to do dot legit, let's say the legitpc.com / login, sure. And then we're going to have the method is going to be sending, so we want it as post. Method is post, and then we're going to keep moving down. We're going to start the label. So we're going to always want to do this now because it is better for on-screen readers. And then here we're going to have the username. Then we're going to end the label. And then here we're going to have the input type. We're going to just do a whole bunch of other text fields again. And here is where we get to the point. So required. And there you see it pops up. That's the attribute. So here we're saying that this is required and we need it. I don't know what the deal with the title thing is there. I wonder if I missed that. Okay. Horizontal line break. So label for, and this is going to be password. Password. And then closing label. And then we're going to get into the input type. Input typed input of type text. What is going on with my typing today? Man. And the name is going to be the password. And this is also a required element. Required. This guy we're going to want to have capitalized. This is what they're going to see. Okay. So there we go. And you notice that if you try to submit, it gives you an error. It says, please fill out this field. So there, and you type this in, submit. It'll also do it inversely. So you type something in here. So please fill out this field. So that's a form validation. Make sure that you at least you don't send some wrong information to the server and be, totally wasting resources on server end. And keeps everything nice and neat when you send stuff in, and make sure that you have all the information that's required. All right, so now we have date input. We have 2 more after this. So we're going to do a form. Let's just, you already know that. The form action is this guy right here. So we're just going to say, we're just going to go date. Method is still post. Now we're going to jump into creating a label. So we're going to say depart date. We're just going to say date. date. And then we're going to close that label. And then we're going to use that label here. Input type. Date. Name. Date. Close that form. Oh, that didn't work good. It didn't automatically close it. We got a problem there. Alright. So there we go. We got a date input, and you pull this down, and see it's got a little bit of a rendering problem inside of Dreamweaver, but then again, it's emulating a browser. Give me 1 second. So this is what we were looking for here, and you see that you can enter in a type of date. Let's say it's the 9th, and there you go. It's 4/9/14. Perfect. All right. So that is a date type, and then we have two more. We have email and URL input, and we're gonna go through these really quickly. Okay, so we're just gonna go back to this guy. And we're just going to get rid of this and just close it. Okay, then we're going to say, we're going to do P, our paragraph, and we're going to say enter in email. Enter in your email. So you see a lot of stuff here is very, very similar. As you know, this character type is submit. You know, you gotta close your form, stuff like that. So here, basically the type is email, and when you go in here and you try to submit something that is not an email, it will give you an error. So you say like LegitTechTutorials@gmail.com. And that's perfectly fine. So, but usually inside of any other, I'm making sure here that everything is correct. But in any other type of, okay, let me just change this really quick. So any other type of browser, it will tell you if you don't have the proper email set up in there. It will give you an error saying please enter in a valid email address. Alright, so now we're just going to go through, save some time, and change this from email to URL. And this is the name of your website. We still have the submit button. Enter in your website URL. Yeah. So here it's also should do the same exact thing. www.thelegitpc.com. Okay, well, there it's working now. I don't know what else it wants. No, this is HTTP. And there now it's accepting that. That might not be the best idea, because people will never remember that. Okay, so next is going to be, we're just going to change this to the last type. The next last type is called a search input. So this goes to search. and then changing this name to search. We're just gonna type this into search. So search, and then this is gonna be, you're gonna simply just change this from submit to search, because you want a search button, or actually, sorry, submit. This stays submit. This turns into what you say. You say search. You want it to search, but you still want it to be of type submit button. And now you have a search button. And see there, it's got a little X to cancel it out. Very cool. Also, like I said, for all the previous form controls that we went over, that's the last one. But they all have different looks depending on different browsers, which is kind of interesting. You know, look different on Apple Safari compared to something like, of course, Dreamweaver and Opera, Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, etc., etc. They all would have different views, different looks, and what you would see would not be necessarily the same thing that you see here. Alright, so we're going to have some practice after this, and this has been Steven from LegitTechTutorials. I thank you for watching my video. If you like this video, please subscribe for more videos like it in this series and other series as well. I will see you guys in the next video. If you have any questions, email me, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. Thanks for watching.